What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. Alright, so basically it's Judgment Day for Kevin Smith, or Judgment Weekend, I guess you could say. This is probably the worst weekend of his entire life. This is a guy that's used to getting, excuse me, a guy that's used to getting praised by comic book fans, fans of his work as Jay and Silent Bob, Dogman, and so forth. Along those lines, he's used to getting just nothing but praise. He's almost, when it comes to like comic book lore, he's almost kind of like the Godfather in a lot of ways, which I never really understood why. But he's like the go-to guy that when he speaks about something, people listen. And I felt like they always kind of gave him maybe a little bit too much credit in that regard. But he seemed like a really kind, one of the people type guys. You don't see that very much in Hollywood. But I think after his version of Masters of the Universe Revelations, I think we can just basically throw out the idea that he's one of us. He's definitely a corporate shill. He is. He's been caught in multiple lies, and then he doubles down on it, which I'll talk about that in another video, because I do have some thoughts about him doubling down on his lie and trying to make excuses for it. Could have very easily just come right out and said, you know what, guys, I dropped the ball on this one. Sorry about that. I didn't listen to y'all. I shouldn't have listened to Netflix. I should have focused more on the art. I should have cared more about what fans would care of this character, or the dismissal of someone like He-Man. But he didn't do that. Instead, he doubled down on why he is right and everyone else is wrong. But anyways, let's talk about a little bit of the pros of this new Masters of the Universe Revelations. Lena Headey did a really great job as Evil Lynn. I've always been a fan of Evil Lynn. I feel like she is, in a lot of ways, she's the equal to Skeletor in a lot of ways. Maybe even his better. Definitely thinks more outside the box than what Skeletor has. Which she's done it in the show, and of course, she definitely does it on this one. But she had a really kind of unique relationship with Orko, who is another magic user. And while I didn't really enjoy Orko too much in this series, I felt like the relationship between the two of those, both being magic users, both understanding that the lack of magic in the world is now affecting them more drastically than it is anybody else in the kingdom. I thought that relationship was really unique, really different, really beautiful in a lot of ways. That being said, the only other thing that I can say good about this is it had I felt like the fifth episode was watchable. I actually kind of enjoyed it to a certain extent. And I thought the animation was good. The animation was good. Nothing to write home about. I thought it was good. But I mean, come on. We're in the 21st century. Why do we still expect bad animation? Like, I mean, did anyone really think that they were going to do, like, I don't know, the 1980s version animation of it? No. But I mean, they created that He-Man series in, 2003, and the animation in that would look good too. The only difference between that version of He-Man and this version of He-Man is the writing is actually really good, and sadly, that is where this He-Man fails absolutely miserably, and I mean miserably. It falls completely and totally on its face, and it never picks itself back up. Where do I begin? The killing off of He-Man twice. Now, I'm just going to flat out do spoilers, guys, because I'm pretty sure most of y'all who's watching this video have already seen this. But yeah, he dies twice. And to me, I felt like both times he died, especially the second go around, like he comes back and you think, okay, they're making up for the lost time by bringing him back. And then he's only there for like 2 minutes and he dies again. And he never really gets to be He-Man. We never really get to see He-Man as He-Man. We get to see an imposter of He-Man in the first episode, but besides that, we didn't get to see anything of anything when it come to He-Man. So I'm beyond upset about that. Another thing is Sarah Michelle Gellar as Teela. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, they replaced Teela with He-Man and all that other kind of stuff. To me, that was bad. But what was even worse was Teela's voice acting. Uh, Teela's voice acting was horrible. Sarah Michelle Gellar doesn't sound anything like what you would imagine Teela to sound like. She was whiny. She did not. She just didn't fit the role of Teela. It felt like they had the name Teela, but then they didn't have the actual character Teela in a lot of ways. And if I feel like if they would have done that, if they would have maybe got somebody to come in there that actually fit the part or the voice and maybe the character of Teela, maybe this show could have picked itself back up a little bit, since she's definitely front and center in it. But sadly, Sarah Michelle Gellar just come off as really whiny. Even Skeletor in there kind of calls her, I think, a cheerleader. Like that's what she sounds like. She never sounds like a hero. She always sounds like a victim. And I almost, everybody wants to talk about, like I said, Teela replacing He-Man, but I kind of feel like the idea of making Teela such a victim is almost more offensive than if they made them just making Teela the hero and taking He-Man out and replacing, him totally with her. I feel like that's actually probably the most reprehensible thing, is making her a victim. She's never that strong character that you see in any of the He-Man past series. Like, she's just not. She is very weak. She is very. She doesn't know what she wants. She's just mad at everyone for literally the dumbest reasons whatsoever. And I'll tell you, I got tired of this show from episode 1. Right when He-Man dies, the king finds out that it was Adam that died. They're having this moment. He just lost his son. Man of Arms is just admitting that, he knew all along and all this other stuff. So you have this family that is mourning the loss of their son. What does Teela decide to do? She's like, I'm the victim here. I know y'all just lost y'all's son, and yeah, that's a big deal, whatever. But really, it's all on me. He didn't tell me, and so, like, I'm mad at the world about this. So y'all can all just go screw off because I'm mad. I'm taking the show. I'm taking the spotlight, even though it should have been the parents being able to have that mourning moment, that really sad moment, and she just completely and totally took that away. I felt like that was a little douchey on her part. I don't know why they had to put it that way. They were constantly, throughout the 5 episodes, trying to make people feel bad for her. Even when in episode 4, when she finds Adam in the afterlife, instead of them having this moment where that they have this, warm embrace, like she's glad to see her friend is back alive, she instead stays sulky at him, like completely and totally, like you did me the greatest disgrace in the world. Yeah, you saved the world, saved the universe, basically. You gave your life, but I'm the real victim in this because you didn't tell me, so you owe me an apology. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was really actually kind of offended by this because I felt like that is so ridiculous. Someone literally gives their life, gives their life in service of a greater cause to save millions, billions of people. And then she goes and says, no, I'm the one that is the one. You owe me an apology for saving everyone because you didn't tell me you were He-Man. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. How ridiculously stupid is that? I did not like the route that they took with her at all. Another one I felt like, normally a great voice actor in Mark Hamill. Um, I didn't think he did a very good Skeletor at all. I kept hearing the Joker more in that work than I did Skeletor. It never felt like Skeletor. This felt like a completely different version of Skeletor. A Skeletor that wasn't like, Skeletor always kind of had that little bumbling, not so confident way about him. This one knew exactly what he was doing. Never really explained how he knew the secrets of Gary Skull or any of that thing. It was just like, oh well, I found this out. I'm going to, go into basically the basement of it, and I'm going to take all the power for myself. They never really explained how he found out. They never explained the change in really his character at all. I was actually kind of glad that they sidelined him because if they hadn't have sidelined him, I would have thought this is even a worse of show than what it was. But overall, I don't know. I felt like this was the most below average animated series that Netflix has ever put out. And I was really excited about this, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because I loved Castlevania. I loved Castlevania. I thought this was going to be something similar, something new, something different. Yes, Tila was probably going to be the one that was in charge. They were going to have all that female empowerment stuff that they usually put in things, but you're kind of used to that by now. But that didn't even really happen right. It just felt like they couldn't do anything right in this series. And so I was just incredibly disappointed by Netflix that Netflix couldn't live up to the standards that they did with Castlevania. They couldn't bring He-Man back to basically life as a trademark series like they did with Castlevania. So I was disappointed, but with Netflix in that regard. But overall, I would definitely give this like a 4 out of 10. I felt like it was hard to watch. Me and my wife, we both agreed on that. Like she watched it with me. You just could not stand what was going on screen. It was reprehensible what they did to He-Man. It was reprehensible what they did to the show. Man at Arms, they made Man at Arms just a complete and total fool. Really submissive. It's always that way with shows. If they're going to raise a woman up, they have to pull a man down, and I've never figured that out. Like, Man at Arms can't be the strong Man at Arms, with Tila being, of an equal status. They have to bring him down to bring her up. I didn't like that at all. I felt like they completely and totally ruined that character too. There's no coming back from it. Kevin Smith, I think you probably ruined your status as with geeks across the world. No one's gonna buy your ridiculous statements of why you did what you did with He-Man. And you know what? I would be shocked if he ever gets a chance to do something like this again, because now fans are going to be like, no, we don't want Kevin Smith over this. It was just bad all the way around. I would give it like a 4 out of 10. It was the only thing that was good about it was I enjoyed Lena Headey. I thought she did a really good job as Evil Lynn. I somewhat maybe enjoyed the animation a little bit, but the story was so horrible. And like it was, there was nothing about it that was shocking in any way. You could see everything from a mile away. I could have told you after episode one, or the beginning, first 10 minutes of episode one, exactly what was going to go on. I feel like a lot of other fans could as well. But overall, guys, definitely would not recommend this. Don't waste your time in watching 5 episodes of this unless you're just like a hardcore He-Man fan. There's no reason to watch this. It's a waste of five. It's a waste of 5 episodes of your life. Go watch something good. Go watch Netflix's Castlevania. That's a good series. That's one that lives up to the standard that I thought they were going to set with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, but unfortunately they did not. And so Netflix, I feel like you dropped the ball. Kevin Smith, you dropped the ball. And you know what? Netflix can think, hey, you know what? We've got all these subscribers, and we can do this with whatever we want to, and we don't care what fans think. I feel like you're going to be wrong when you're left in the dust and all these other, streaming services start building up, and then no one watches Netflix, because that's why Netflix really feels about their customers. I don't really understand why anybody would really watch it or subscribe to their stuff. That's the way I feel from now on. I'm not big on Netflix anymore. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all think. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave a comment down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. And y'all take care.